Live in New York now is Susan Johnson-Cook. She's a former US presidential advisor and served as the United States Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedom. Thank you so much for coming on the programme.
Thank you for having me.
So what are your thoughts as you listen back then to that speech?
Oh, I'm dreaming with ambition and I'm leading with conviction, and we're applauding Kamala and the Biden ticket all the way. They are now our president-elect and vice president-elect, and how proud we are. You know, I was on President Clinton's race initiative over 20 years ago, and we were praying for a moment like this. I'm a Black woman. We've been praying for a moment like this, but now our dreams have been realized, and we are so excited, jubilant, actually.
Well, some of the you mentioned there, we heard it and you quoted it again. I think one of the lines that will live on, talking to children there, saying dream with ambition, lead with conviction. She definitely had some of the best lines on a night, frankly, full of rhetoric and energy from both speakers, messages about the importance of this time in American history and bringing the country together. That was the overall theme of both the speeches. It's a tall order, though, isn't it?
It's a tall order, but you know, we cannot be the divided states of America. I think I was on here before and we talked about how divided our country was. And we talked about ridding ourselves of the demonization of America. And I believe this is the team that spoke with their heart. Yes, it was a speech, you know, that was written, of course, but it came from their heart. I have known the passion and the compassion of each of them. And so I'm so excited that they now lead our country, are prepared to lead our country. I used to ride with Senator Biden on the Amtrak when he would come home daily to take care of his children when I was working in the Clinton administration. And so what we will see is people working on both sides of the aisle because they know him, they know his heart, and I think we'll get some things done.
Well, on those things done, let's talk about Kamala. Obviously what she represents, and she spoke to it there, hugely historic, important steps for the history of the United States. But let's talk about what you would like her to actually do. What do you think she will make in terms of a real difference over the next 4 years?
Well, you know, first of all, a woman sees life differently than a man. So she will bring vision through the eyes of a woman. I think she will also ensure, as will now President Biden, that there is inclusivity, diversity, equity, and inclusion is what America's always been talking about. I think we will see it in action. I think she will also bring, you know, family. Both of them are in love with their spouses and their children and their nieces and the rest of their family. I think we're going to see a humanization, a humanity that comes forth that cares not only about our families, but also cares about your family. And I think that's what everybody's hopeful about, excited about, because we see ourselves in Kamala. We see a sister, a soul sister who is unashamedly and unapologetically Black, but who also is open to every race. She's married, she's intermarried, she has children, and she's a daughter of immigrants. So she kind of brings the whole package: humanity, femaleness, femininity, elegance, strength, and power, because she is has evidence-based leadership. And so we're looking for this team now to be the ones that we hope for, that will lead America not in division, but in united together.
And what about the issue of race? We saw the explosion of the Black Lives Matter movement, of course, throughout this year. This appointment, as I mentioned before, is hugely significant in terms of symbolism. But what about real change? What actually needs to be done?
But what we saw with Black Lives Matter is because what Black Americans have seen all of our lives, what has happened to us in terms of systemic racism, the rest of the world got to see. And so President Biden, President-elect Biden, is not ashamed to take that on. He's going to deal with institutional racism and sexism. And I think what we will see is some real systemic change, because unless you have someone who really deals with it, puts it on the table, then we will continue to ignore it. They are not afraid afraid of putting it on the table. And so we will see some changes. It will start with his administration, what we will see and who we will see in the White House and in the vice president's office, and then systemically throughout the departments and agencies of the United States government.
Okay.
So it is my honor and pleasure to really work with them.
Okay, and just lastly, because I have to let you go, but
Sure.
briefly, 71 million or so voters voted for Donald Trump. What's your message to them right now?
You know, in an election, there are going to be some who get the most votes and there will be others who do not. My message to all of those who voted for Donald Trump is now we're going to walk together and work together. The hand is being reached out. The branch is being reached out to you. I hope that you will take it and walk with us. When we work together, we win together in the United States of America. We are one, and we'd love to work with you. So come on over and let's be Americans, not blue, not red, but Americans.
Well, we've certainly loved having you on. Thank you so much for your time and talking to us, Susan Johnson Cook.
Thank you so much for having me.